Hello everyone, how are you? Today we're solving paper 2 multiple choice physics 2025 May June, of course, okay, variant 22. Let's start with the first question here. It says which instrument is most suitable to determine the volume of small irregular shaped stone. Okay, for irregular shaped stone, we know that we use a measuring cylinder where we place the stone inside the cylinder, so there will be an increase of the volume of water. The difference in volume of water will give me the volume of the irregularly shaped stone. We know this already. In question 2, they say a steel ball is dropped from the top floor of a building. Air resistance can be ignored. Please pay attention to this idea. The question is, which statement describes the motion of the ball? In A, they say ball falls with constant acceleration. In B, the ball falls with constant speed. C, the ball falls with decreasing speed, and here with increasing acceleration. We have to pay attention here that they mentioned that air resistance is ignored. What does that mean? It means there's nothing against the motion, okay, which is nothing against the weight. It means the ball is falling in the field of gravity, so it is affected by the acceleration of gravity on Earth. We know it is 9.8 meter per second squared. Okay, so I have a constant gravity acceleration. Okay, so it is A, the ball falls with constant acceleration. Okay, again, this happens because the air resistance is ignored. If the air resistance is not ignored, in this case, the acceleration will be decreasing. Okay, that's will be in a different case. Now here, question 3, they say the diagram shows the velocity time graph for an object which is accelerating. Okay, I have on the y-axis velocity and the x-axis I have time. They say, what is the acceleration of the object? We know already in this case we need to find the slope or the gradient. Okay, we know already it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So choose any 2 points from the graph and then take the y2 y1 x2 x1 and find it. Okay, the easiest points are actually, I have this point. Okay, so the y2 here is 120, and here the x2 will be, when we go down here, it is 40. Okay, another point I choose here, the 20 here, this point. Okay, so this will be y1. Okay, and the x1, I go down here, the x1 will be 0. This is x1. So if I want to substitute, is going to be y2 is 120 minus y1 is 20, x2 is 40 minus 0. Okay, so if you put this in a calculator, you will get 2.5. Okay, which is option B. Okay, that's how we find the acceleration in a speed time graph. So this is question 3. Let's go now to question 4. They say diagram A here shows a piece of flexible material that contains many pockets of air. Diagram 2 shows the same piece of flexible material after it has been compressed so that its volume decreases. So the volume decreases. They say here, what happens to the mass and to the weight of the flexible material when it is compressed? Let's reread the question carefully and pay attention what actually changed between diagram 1 and diagram 2. It's only diagram 2 is, the object is compressed. There is no change in the number of particles. There is no change of the place where here I mean we are in the same gravity field. They are asking about mass and weight. So since I didn't add more air or I didn't release more air, so the same number of particles, which means mass doesn't change. We are in option C or D. The mass will stay the same. And there's no mention that we changed the gravity field, so we are in the same place, so the weight will stay the same. So it is option D. I hope it's clear. Feel free to ask any question under the video. Okay. Now they say a student determines the density of copper. She has a rectangular block of copper. Okay. Which other apparatus does she need? Okay. Remember, we need the density. They say balance. Of course, here they say rectangular block of copper. Okay. Balance. Of course, I need a balance because I need to measure the mass, right? Regarding the ruler, yes, I need the ruler because I need to find the length, width, and height of the block of copper. This is the block of copper. Okay, if I can like draw in, you know, it's not a perfect drawing, but approximately this is the block of copper. So I need to know the length here, the width here, okay, and the height here. So I need a ruler. Yes. A stopwatch. Do I need a stopwatch? No, because remember, density equals to mass over volume. So, yani stopwatch will not help me to find the mass or volume. Okay, so stopwatch I don't need. The fourth is the thermometer. Do I need the thermometer? No, thermometer will give me the temperature. I don't need the temperature to find the density, right? So I only need balance or ruler. So which one has both of them? This is wrong, right? And B is wrong because they say we need a stopwatch. D is wrong because they say here that we don't need a ruler. Actually, we do. So it's option C. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now, question 6, it says a 0.15 kilogram mass, this is mass, is suspended from a vertical spring. The mass is pulled down until the spring has extended by 12 centimeters. So this is the extension, okay, from its unstretched length. Okay, the spring constant is 30 Newton per meter. This is the spring constant. The question is, what is the magnitude of the initial acceleration? They want acceleration, okay? I know already that acceleration equal to the force over mass, okay? Of course, here the net force or total force. This is total force affecting on the object. Okay, to understand this better, I think it will help me if I draw. So here, this is the spring suspended here from a wall, and the mass is actually suspended from the spring. Okay, so the mass is here. Pay attention. What are the forces affecting on the mass here? I have two forces actually. The pull of the spring, F, which equals Kx, right? And there is also the weight here, which equals mass multiple gravity, right? So these two forces actually affecting the mass, okay, at the beginning of hanging the mass on the spring, okay? So first of all, let's find the this force here. I'm gonna use this color. So force according to Hooke's law equal to Kx, right? Pay attention here, the x is given in centimeter and the k is given Newton over meter. So I have to change this. It's going to be 0.12 meter, right? So I need the k, I need the f, it equals 30 multiple 0.13. The answer will be Sorry, this is 1, 2. My bad. My bad. So it's 0.12. So the answer will be 3.6 Newton, right? So this is the pull of the spring. Now we need to find the weight here. I will find the weight here in this corner. So mass equals to 0.15 multiple the gravity constant 9.8. Okay, if you find 0.15 multiple 9.8 equals to 1.47 Newton. So the total force will be 3.6 minus 1.47, and here I put the mass, which is 0.15. Okay, if I do all these in a calculator, 3.6 minus 1.47 over 0.15, I'll get the answer 14.2, which is, here I will write 14.2, which is approximately, here it is 14. The answer is A. Okay, I hope it's clear. Feel free to watch it again. If you have any question, ask me in the comments. Now, a cricket ball of mass 0.15 kilogram is moving at speed of 30 meter per second. The diagram shows a batsman holding a bat stationary as the ball hits the bat and bounces back at the same speed, okay, in the opposite direction. They say here the ball is in contact with the bat for 1.010 to the power negative 3 second. The question is, the table below shows the change in momentum of the ball and the magnitude of the force applied to the ball. Which row is correct? Okay, so to find the change of momentum, let's remember, change of momentum equals to the final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum is mass multiple final speed. Initial momentum is mass multiple initial speed. Remember, initial speed is u. Okay, so it is 0.15 multiple final speed is 30. Okay, minus again mass is 0.15 multiple the initial speed is negative 30. Why negative? Because they said in the opposite direction. The initial and final are in the opposite direction. So you put this in a calculator, you will get 9. Okay, and remember the unit is kilogram meter per second. So this is the change of momentum. We are in option C or D. Okay, both of them are 9. So A is wrong and B is wrong. Now they want the force applied to the ball. We know already that force multiple change of time, which is called the impulse, equal to the change of momentum. Okay, so if I want the force is going to be change of momentum over change of time, or the duration of time, which is 9 over 1 multiple 10 to the power negative 3, which is given here. Yes. Okay, so the force, if you put this in a calculator, I will get 9 multiple 10 to the power 3 or 9,000 Newton. Which option is that? It is option D. So D is the correct answer. I hope it's clear. Okay, now in question 8, they said a stone is thrown vertically upwards at a speed. So this is the initial speed. Okay, all of the energy initially in the kinetic store of the stone is transferred to its gravitational potential store. when the stone reaches its maximum height. Okay, which equation gives the maximum height h reached by the stone? So they just said all the kinetic energy changed all of it to potential energy, right? So I know already that the initial kinetic energy is half mass multiple velocity squared, which is 5 squared, equals the potential energy is mgh, mg, which is 9.8 multiple 9.8 multiple h. What do they want? They want the formula of the height, h, right? So pay attention, mass with mass are gone, deleted. So what do I still have? I still have here half multiple 5 squared equals 9.8 multiple h. Okay, so h will be half multiple 5 squared over 9.8. Of course, the 2 will be down, so 5 squared over 2 multiple 9.8. Okay, so this is the answer. Which option is that? 5 squared over, yes, this one. This will be the answer. Okay, again, feel free to watch the video again and write a question in the comments section. Question 9. Here I have 3 energy resources are listed. I have geothermal, wind, and nuclear fuel. Okay, the question is, it says which resources get their energy from the sun? Of course, nuclear fuel doesn't take its energy from the sun. The wind does. Geothermal, not from the sun. Okay, it's actually from underground. Okay, so it's only the wind. Which one is that? It's option D. I hope it's clear. Now question 10, this will be the last question we solved in this video. Remember, like each video will be only 10 questions. So it says a sample of substance has a shape that is determined by its container. Okay, what are the possible states of this sample? So which state of matter? Remember that solid has a fixed shape. Only liquid and gas can take the shape of a container. Okay, so wherever you see solid, wrong. Here I see solid, wrong. Okay, here I see solid, wrong. Here I see solid, wrong. The correct answer is gas and liquid only. So it's option B. Okay, we'll complete the other questions in the next videos. I hope everything is clear. Feel free to ask any question anytime. Okay, have a nice day. Bye bye.